Alright, here we go. So that was a pre-roll that I'm testing. There's still some tweaks that have to be made to it, but I actually ran it by most of the guys on the Chillcast earlier to see what they thought about it. So, thank you so much for joining tonight. This is the pre-game for the Chillcast. Tonight, every night, every Friday night at 10:30, I'm over on Avidan's channel for the Chillcast, and prior to that, I've been trying to basically just stream a single-player game just for fun to kind of see how it is. And tonight, we're going to be taking a look at Feather. Now, the developer was actually kind enough to give me a code for this. Sorry for the echo. So this will be my first time checking it out and getting me away from Dragon's Dogma for a little bit. But as I understand it, this is a game that is not too dissimilar to titles like Flower for the PlayStation 3. It's more of a relaxing game. It's not high energy, it's not chaotic. I don't think there's any really major goals or any failure conditions or anything like that. Just to see a very chill sort of flight experience. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started now that I've got everything set up. Romy Dan, thank you so much for being here. Morrow, thank you for showing up early, no less. Let's see, what else? Who else here? Snow Bunny, how are you doing tonight? Trying to catch up with the chat here. Looking sharp. Thank you, man. I am glad to hear that. I'm trying to make sure that the stream looks pretty good, so making some gradual improvements. But yeah, let's check out Feather for a little bit. I got about an hour, and then I'll have to go get ready to jump over on Avidan's channel. And tonight we are going to be talking about, let's see, we're going to be talking about the future of gaming, I think, and we're also going to be talking a little about the Microsoft-Sony partnership that's been kind of talked about, and then also what everybody's been talking about this week, if you're a Switch fan, and certainly if you're a Mario fan, and that is the Mario Maker 2 Direct. Adrian, what's going on, man? First for me coming early. Yeah, it's, I'm glad you made it. Wow, already this looks really, really clean. Is the audio sound okay, guys? Is it too loud one way or the other? Oh, wow, it just gets you right into it. Okay, so it's got inverted controls for movement. And then you can kind of rotate around your bird, speed up with ZR. I'm not sure what kind of bird this is. I feel like I should know that. Tweet? Oh, that reminds me. There's something else I have to test here. So, one of the things that I'm also testing tonight is I have... Oh, there's a party at work? Right on, man. Have fun. Can roll. Oh, cool. So it's got like a quick turnaround, pretty much. So we can do barrel rolls. Speed up, slow down. It all seems pretty straightforward. And I think aside from the movement, it hasn't really told me anything else, so that's fine. I will say it's a really pretty game so far. I'm so glad everything looks good and sounds okay. That's one of the things that I'm most worried about, Dan, is I'm always concerned that it's going to be like, the audio is going to be way too high on one or the other, and, you know, I don't really have a great way to test that. I suppose I could try to figure out a more complex monitoring solution, but what's this? I don't know if that did anything. But yeah, I figured since it is the Chillcast, I should probably try to play a chill game for a change. This is a, you know, a staunch departure from playing like Saints Row the Third or something like that. And since they were kind enough to give me a code, I said that I would stream it for you guys and see if you guys liked it, or if you thought it would be something that you would enjoy, and then I'll probably do like a short impressions video of it. But that's the thing, I really like games like this. You know, I feel like, you know, games are almost, you know, stereotypically so objective oriented that it's rare that you see experiences that are just, you know, kind of there just to relax and take in like an immersive world. Daniel, what's going on, buddy? The flip side of this is the very stressful time I will have with you playing Monster Hunter World at midnight. You saw a shiny thing on the ground? Hold on. Let me go back. Speed up a little bit. Oh no, I have to sneeze. I wonder if I can land. Can I just land and walk this bird around? No. Oh my... Wait, why did it get all monochromatic? Am I doing damage to the bird? This is horrible. That's exactly what I'm testing, HLO. How are you doing tonight? So one of the other things, before I got sidetracked earlier, that I'm trying to test is... Oh man, I can't get this bird vertical again. How did I manage to make a game that is designed to not be stressful so stressful? Dan says, seriously, you have a great balance between game and stream sound and visual. I'm going to double check the levels then. And this thing, I don't think it's going to be consistent from game to game, so I think they all do their audio levels differently. But I at least want to see if I've got a baseline. Usually what I try to do is make sure that if it peaks on either of those, that it's doing so like in the yellow and it doesn't ever hit the red. But I'm always worried I'm coming off, too soft or just blowing people's ears out. Stop killing! I'm trying to stop killing the birds. As it stands, like, there's not even a visual indicator that I'm making any progress whatsoever, so I don't know if there... Is that the shiny thing you were talking about, Morrow? Is that just a shiny piece of the environment? We might as well try to explore as much as possible. No! I don't know why, but somehow the bird just going monochrome is a little bit worse. I'm not a bird murderer. I'm trying to get the bird vertical. It just doesn't... Like, you bounce off of everything. Oh, maybe if I would just stop doing that, maybe it resets you. Okay. I think I was just overthinking it. Well, let's just see how far we can go. Like, we go out to sea, will it force us to turn around, I'm guessing? Taylor, what's up, man? It does look good. It's a really pretty, clean-looking game. And it's meant to be a sort of relaxing affair, and that's the thing. This would be like that video I did a week or two ago at this point about games that are nice to stream. This would be on that list, because it's, again, if your goal, depending on your audience, like, if it makes sense that you try to maintain chat above all else, as I tend to do, then I think it's a great option. But if you run a fighting game channel and you start playing this, probably going to have some unhappy subscribers. Nice! Are you working on more lost bits? Oh no. Oh, cool! I thought that I would just drown the bird, but apparently you can totally, like, be like a bird dolphin. It did just turn dark. I think it has a realistic day-night cycle. I mean, moderately so. It's not going to take 24 hours, obviously, but... There's a couple of barrel rolls here. Like, I'm kind of hoping that something happens in the environment where, you go through enough rings or something that at least, changes the environment in some way. Like, I don't need it for a sense of accomplishment necessary, or maybe it's just me missing the entire point of this game. Glad to hear it, man. I would like to see more of those. Angry watchers in streams are too much, in my opinion. Yeah, not the best. I've been pretty blessed, though, in terms of... the people that hang out on this channel are generally pretty level-headed people, which I very much appreciate. Okay, so I think if you just try to go out to the sea too far, it just makes you turn around. Let's see. I'm getting pretty high up there, though. I don't think there's an objective in this game, but then again, I haven't really explored it very much. So maybe there is one and I just haven't found it. So we can dive bomb. Let's go straight into the sea. Hey! I was kind of worried, like, 'cause that was a much higher level to dive bomb from. People need to understand that it's free entertainment. That's a good point. It is free entertainment. And that's one thing I think a lot of people really underestimate, especially people that don't really understand the YouTube landscape, is, it takes a lot of time and effort to do stuff on YouTube. And that's whether you're doing pre-produced or live stream. If you're live streaming, like, I probably spent, a couple of hours earlier optimizing everything, trying to get that pre-roll done, and then trying to do some Elgato Stream Deck stuff, which actually I want to try that right now. That's one of the things that I'm going to do either in a future video or in a future live stream, depending on how that shakes out. Is, let's see if I can do a quick turnaround and get through that ring, is I would like to, whoa, that day came really fast, is, kind of go over the Stream Deck more in depth. It's a piece of hardware I've used for about a year now, and I've gotten more and more comfortable with it, but before I wasn't really using it to its full capabilities. Tonight I feel like I kind of did that. This game looks like it could be a VR game. No, it looks like it would make an excellent VR game, unless, like, the first person would induce nausea or something and detract from the experience, I suppose. Mr. Quicksand, what's up, man? How you doing? Speaking of VR, I would feel so nauseous if this was VR, but I could see that happening. Yeah, it's weird. Now that I got the gaming rig up here, I'm about to set up the Oculus Rift again. I don't plan on streaming Oculus Rifts or anything, because again, I don't... Oh, I made some drums happen. That's neat. But I would like to play it again. Specifically, like, the best showcase in terms, I think, in terms of immersion and really giving you a sensation of movement, is a game called Windlands for the Oculus Rift, and it's phenomenal. If you ever want to feel like Spider-Man from your living room, there is no other game that does it like Windlands. I really want to get a Stream Deck. Stream Decks are nice. Right now I'm using the regular Stream Deck, but then there's also, I bought the Stream Deck Mini because it was on sale, I think for $60 or $70, because I wanted to do a contrast to compare and kind of figure out, you know, what is the major draw for one over the other. Essentially, they are the same thing. One just has less buttons. But I'm trying to figure out, and I think really, if I was going to make a video about that, what I would say is, you know, if you're somebody who does a lot of live streaming, like a lot, and you're trying to do like fancy effects or, you know, like midstream videos or goofy stuff like that, then I think that, you know, the larger Stream Deck's probably the better option. Although with nested folders, you could technically make really good use of both the mini and the regular sized one. I'm doing great, working a lot. I'm sorry, man. Hopefully work is not too stressful for you, though, Quicksand. Oh, yeah, so I'm going to try this real quick. So there's a button on the Stream Deck I have right now, and it's actually got the more you know icon on it is what I put on there, to spread the word. And this is something that I would like to start trying in live streams to basically, like, send a tweet out to let people know that I'm live. And so basically I hit one button, it changes my name on Twitter from YourPlayerTwo to like live, and then like that red circle emoji, and then YourPlayerTwo sends out a quick tweet that we are live, and then I think it actually prompts the chat here for a retweet if your followers would appreciate it. Don't retweet if you think your followers hate the idea of watching a boring bird game. But I'm going to test that out right now because I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to hit this button and we'll see what happens. It's called Spread the Word, so theoretically, yeah, so right there it says I just tweeted out that the stream is live, and I'm going to check my Twitter right now to make sure it actually fired. Yep, that did it. So that's a really neat feature, and that's something they only recently added to the Stream Deck, Taylor, if you're curious, is multi-actions. So it's almost like its own, not really a scripting language, but the fact that you can stack actions on top of each other and say, when I hit this button, do 3 different things at once. Oh boy. Whoa. Didn't see this coming. I would like to slow down now. This is cool, though. I think I really underestimated how in-depth the environment was, because I did not expect that just going into this one little rock formation that I would see this giant underground cave. This is cool. Does the music change when you go through the rings? I know it at least plays drums for a second. I did not listen carefully enough to know if the music actually changed, but that's why I hit this. Oh, cool. So you have some... So it's not just rings, there are also these bulbs hanging from these trees that I come into, which I can't tell if that's fruit or what, but... Let's go a little lower. Nope, that's just foliage. Let's see what else I can find to explore. I'm betting that there are tons of other areas. Let's go down here. Whoa, slow down. What was that? Can I go in? Oh no, I'm gonna kill the bird again. No, we're okay. I thought there was like a hole in the side of that rock, but I guess there's not. It is pretty cool. I really like that the bird doesn't just drown instantly. Can I go through this log? Now, one thing that I am curious about, though, is, you know, obviously I haven't played enough to gauge how big this environment is, but is this the only environment, or are there certain conditions I can meet where I, you know, find a new environment to explore in, or is it just the same one all the time? I mean, either one's fine, but it would be cool to know that there are, you know, other environments, or maybe they would make that DLC or something. So if you slam into the ground, it basically just does a rewind thing real quick, and I was fighting it earlier trying to regain height, but apparently you don't have to, because the game will just reset you in the air automatically. So they do try to make it so that, you know, even if you mess up and slam into the ground, that you can get back into the action fairly quickly. And I use action in the loosest possible sense. So apparently there are some objects where your wing can clip it and it's not gonna send you to the ground, so yeah. This is on the Switch, Quicksand. So it looks like it maybe does change the music. That music sounds different. Bubby, what's going on, man? Yeah, I think this is also out on, I think it's out for Steam as well. But I get a lot of offers for Steam codes, but while I appreciate them, I usually just very politely reply that I just don't really do PC games. Like, I'm not really a PC gamer. There are PC games that I like, and I'm not opposed to doing it every now and then, but, by and large, I like collecting for consoles, so I don't know if this channel will ever have a very large PC focus. Although, my dad, who's in the chat right now, has assured me that when World of Warcraft Classic comes out, that he will play it with me. Because we played World of Warcraft together for the better part of a decade, and then we both kind of fell out. What's that? Whoa. I don't know if this teleported me to a new world or if it just put me really high in the existing world. Carp, what's going on, man? Whoa, let's slow down. So was that what I went in a second ago? Can I just do it over and over? No. I am not sticking the landing here. Hold on. Let's get up really high and let's try that dive bomb again. I'm gonna go back in that giant portal. I still think it's awesome you play with your dad. I think it's awesome too. We played Borderlands yesterday for about an hour and a half. He's really big into looter shooters, or games that have a good sense of progression. Like if I put him in front of Doom, he's not going to care about it. But give him a game like Fallout or Borderlands or something in that vein, and I think he's a pretty big fan. Well, I mean, he can tell you about it. Say something, Hamfist. I'm going to be trying some new things in the upcoming episode. So for those of you unfamiliar, Taylor's Nostalgia is doing a new series called Lost Bits, where essentially he goes and looks at old retro games, and I think right now he's specifically staying within the realm of Nintendo, but please correct me if I'm wrong, Taylor, and basically looking at hidden assets or things that did not make the final cut of that game that he has figured out through, I would assume, rigorous research. It's very interesting. He's done Faxanadu, and what was the other one that you did? Help me out here, Taylor. But if you guys want to check it out, it's worth a watch. At least I find stuff like that to be completely fascinating. Oh no. I have to get my mom on a stream sometime. Didn't you do a stream with your mom at one point, I thought? Or I know Russ Lime, I know he streams with his mom pretty regularly. And my mom has streamed at least once with me for Kirby Star Allies. Whether or not she will ever come on again, I do not know. A Link to the Past. Yes, thank you. I don't know why I could not remember that, Taylor. You're very welcome, man. I think it's a cool idea that you're working on. Oh no. So, I'm not sure how I feel about the, like, it is mostly a relaxing experience, but if you try to get more daring to see more of the environment and you mess up, I feel like it's really easy to get sort of stuck in the geometry. But really, I mean, what can you do for that? I mean, if you couldn't slam into the geometry, then there wouldn't be a rewarding mini sense of accomplishment whenever you successfully navigate it and see something new. So I don't really know if there's a good answer to that problem unless they added a button to, like, quick reset or something. It's true, I am partial to stuff like Borderlands, Fallout, and yes, Destiny. That is not lost on me, Father. I think I did. Can't remember. I have to look at my vids. Oh no. Hold on. But Feather looks very relaxing. Yeah, so far I do find it pretty relaxing. But that's the thing, though. Like, this is the sort of game that... This is the sort of game that I think bucks the traditional way that we think about games. Because everything in my head right now is screaming at me to find something to accomplish. But this is not that kind of game. And you know, even if it wasn't something to accomplish, like, it would be cool if you could sort of piece together something about the world and figure out some sort of story. And maybe they have put tiny clues in here that do that, and I just haven't found them yet, but... I did just bump it. It was really bad. Let's see if we can go on top of the snowy mountain over here. I don't think I've gone. I think I've mainly stuck to the perimeter, that log, and then like the underground cave. Do some more barrel rolls. And you know, I know this game is available now on the eShop, but I forgot to check the price before I started. I would assume it's like $9.99 or maybe less. But I don't know. What do you guys think is the correct price for a game like this? A game that is not a game in the traditional sense, but more of an experience. No! It's okay, I can do the quick turnaround. I mean, moderately quick turnaround. Oh, did I get credit for that? Even though I don't think I passed. Whoa, what happened? That was interesting. $6.99. I think that sounds fair. Like, for me personally, 10 to 15 would be steep for this. But then again, I've only been playing it for 30 minutes or so, so I could be judging this way too quickly. This is why whenever I do videos that are kind of review-like in nature, like I'll tag them as reviews because I think people who are looking for reviews on games will find useful information about whatever title they're trying to find information on. But at the same time, I don't like calling the videos themselves reviews because I feel like once you call a video a review, then it, you know, that I think has some expectation, and rightfully so, right? Like if I'm gonna look at a review, if someone's going to give me an honest assessment of a game and whether or not I should make the purchase on it, then I would have an expectation that they've played through the bulk of what that game has to offer. Now, a 70, 80-hour RPG or something, I don't expect that someone who reviews it has to do every single side quest and find every single hidden area and secret to be competent, but certainly more than the small amount of time that I tend to spend with games, because my backlog, as you know, is not inconsiderable. And I'm more of a dabble in a lot of titles than buckle down on a single title unless something really, really grabs my attention, like Darksiders did, for example. And like Dragon's Dogma is starting to, which has been a phenomenally fun game. It's a nice game, though. Oh, I can fall asleep, and all we're missing is Josh doing ASMR. Yeah, a little bit. I do like ASMR videos. Like, I couldn't watch them on repeat or anything like that. Like, I don't consciously seek them out. But if I run across one and it's really well done, I'll watch it. I think some people think those are really grating and awful and just like, you know, a scourge of YouTube, but I don't mind them. It's interesting because it's a video type that really emphasizes audio over video, which you don't see a lot of that happening. And one of the things that I would like to do on this channel at some point, and I was actually talking to Dad about this earlier this week, is put a greater emphasis on audio. Because I've talked about a lot of different video stuff, things like cameras, or capture cards, or editing techniques, or, you know, punching up your on-camera presence and stuff like that. But what I haven't really spent a lot of time doing is really diving into microphones and audio, or audio recorders, or optimization. And the short answer, the reason that I don't do that is because I'm just not very good at it. Audio engineering is not something that I'm super passionate about, although I like having good sounding audio. It's just something that I need to learn more about. Now my father, on the other hand, that's a cat that knows audio. He was a DJ in the 70s. Again, he used to play the song Brown Eyed Girl for my mom on the radio. Go ahead and spoil that for the chat, because they were high school sweethearts. And he has a much sharper understanding of it than I do. Oh no, I'm judging you. I actually like ASMR, but I laugh when Sushi and Beck hates. Oh, do they both hate it? I know she had mentioned it at least once before. But anyways, it is a chill stream, so in the interest of chill, what are you guys doing to relax and unwind this weekend, if you're able to relax and unwind? You know, if you're just stuck working, I'm sorry to hear that, but, you know, I would be curious what you guys have planned for your weekends, or if you just want to talk about the things you've been playing. You know, clearly, I'm very much into this bird game. What's if I fly through clouds? Are there any rings in the clouds? Okay, the cloud effect is actually kind of neat. As long as you stay away. If you try to switch the camera for a side view, it looks kind of weird. I watched your video today at work on your new camcorder. That looks like a really cool camera. Well, yeah, that's what I'm using right now to stream, man. It's, and the thing is, and I can't stress this enough, I was not planning on buying a new camera. That's why I sent that tweet out last week, because I had been toying with the idea of the Canon M50, which is a mirrorless camera. I don't have any experience with mirrorless, and I was looking forward to trying it. But ultimately, I knew that I was going to start taking streaming a little bit more seriously and trying to put a little more effort into the production values for it, and also just from a content value perspective, the kind of things that I could talk about on the channel to actually help out other gaming channels, because that is the focus of this channel. And when I did that, I was like, well, the Cam Link makes sense, but I don't have a camera that supports it, and that sort of led me to start looking at models that did support it. And as fate would have it, this camera normally retails for $9.99. Best Buy had it on sale for $7.99, and then they had an open box that somebody just returned in perfect condition with no missing accessories for $5.99. And I did not necessarily want to spend that much on a camera right now, especially with convention travel coming up. And I will be going to Germany for work here in about probably 4 to 6 weeks, so a lot coming up. But ultimately, I did see the utility in it, and as my dad aptly pointed out in a comment earlier, it is kind of a Swiss Army knife visually. Probably some Minecraft or 7 Days to Die YourPlayerTwo. When are you going to be doing that? I'll always be a defender of people streaming. Thank you, Roaming Dan. I appreciate your valiant defense of our craft, as it were. If you can call it craft. I mean, I guess it's craft. There's a lot that goes into it. They mentioned it a couple times, and it's pretty funny. To be fair, Beck and Cynthia are both fairly opinionated individuals. I mean, I guess I am too, but not when it comes to ASMR. I think it's completely fine. I can't understand why people are taking all of this that seriously. What, you mean like production values and stuff? E3, any wait a few weeks? Yeah, I cannot wait till E3. You like games? You want a great way to watch what they look like? Here's one. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Just gonna play tonight, maybe stream, but I need to go to the store first, YourPlayerTwo. Right on, man. My plans for tonight are as follows. I don't know if Brackaman's still in the chat. I know I linked his channel the other night. But tonight, I will be doing the Chillcast at 10:30, so I'll be getting off here in about 20 minutes to start getting ready for that. And then after the Chillcast ends, usually around midnight or shortly thereafter, I will be hopping in with Daniel, Morrow also, I believe, and Beck, Kawaii Lola, who is an absolute delight from Australia. And we'll be playing Monster Hunter World. Now, here's the thing about Monster Hunter World. I'm objectively terrible at Monster Hunter World, and I know this because I fired it back up and installed it and tried practicing the other day in preparation for playing tonight with my friends on here. And I think it's gonna be, I think I'm gonna need Daniel to carry me. Daniel's still here, lurking. Yeah, so if you guys want to go subscribe to Daniel Brankaman, which I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think he is streaming it, and I believe Kawaii Lola's also streaming, so you should be able to catch it at either of those to get, I'm sure, a unique perspective depending on who you choose to watch. If you're up at midnight. That's probably pretty presumptuous on my part. Probably end up getting to be like midnight. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do it. 12, like, I love being a night owl, but I also love being an early riser, which I've said before is a terrible combination. And one of the things about that, let's go lower to the ground for a little bit. We spent a lot of time up high. One of the things about that is, aside from being a horrible combination, is on the weekends, that's when I sort of get some of that night owl time. I love staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning on a Friday night or a Saturday night, just hanging out in random streams, playing video games, and just unwinding, not thinking about YouTube that much. I still do. I'm completely obsessed with it, in a positive way, not like a creepy way. Brian, what's up, man? I am doing quite well, sir. Just checking out this game, Feather, which the developers were kind enough to give me a code for this to check it out. And it's a very relaxing game. When you don't bump into things, then get a creepy monochromatic bird. And that's the thing, like, the reset mostly works, but you can see, actually, I guess that's pretty smart. If you just keep repeatedly bumping into things, you notice it backs you up even further so you can course correct and not slam into things. So I guess that really is the best way to do it, aside from giving you a quick reset button. Roman says, I know you're looking for the best way. It's 10:30 now. Yeah, no, it's 9:30 for me right now, Morrow. Poor Daniel has to carry everyone. Yes, he does. I know you're looking for the best way to stream on YouTube, but I think you're already doing it. Dan, thank you so much for your constant encouragement. I don't just mean here, man. You are constantly commenting on my videos and everything, and I need to do a better job of checking out your stuff too, man. stay pretty busy, but dude, those kind of comments absolutely make my day. I cannot overstate that. Solid Nate, what's going on, man? Speaking of someone whose channel I haven't been to in a while, what have you been up to? Tell me everything you've been playing, Solid Nate. I think the last time I went to your channel, I believe you were playing a Turtles game, if I recall, and that was a while. That was months ago at this point, I want to say. Oh. I'm gonna try to stay inland this time, because I feel like I keep going around the perimeter kind of high, and let's see if we can find more what this game has to offer. I'm going to try to stay as low to the ground as I can and not get wrecked into the monochromatic bird space again, because it's unsettling. We'll just coast along. I feel like this is the kind of game that Bob Ross would super appreciate. YourPlayerTwo, just a bit confused, is there a story mode or something, or do you just fly around? That's the thing! You just fly around. Now, there are rings you can fly through, and as best we can tell, it looks like it may change the music a bit. Oh, whoa, what was that? Hey, whoa, whoa. You see that? There's another bird. I don't think there is a story mode. I think that there's a collection of tiny things you can interact with. But that's it. This is a game that's very much like... Do you remember the game Flower for the PlayStation 3, Brian? I'm doing well. I'm able to... glad I'm able to catch the stream. I'm glad you're able to catch the stream, Brian. Dan says, please don't watch my videos. They're awfully cringy. No, that's the thing. It's okay if they're cringy. Like, at least you're doing something. Like, I have the utmost respect for anybody who's willing to put themselves out there. Like, dude, if you think that, like, a bunch of my videos, and I don't mean, like, just my earliest stuff, like, you know, that I made years ago. I'm talking, like, videos I made last year. I actually went back and looked at a few of them, because sometimes when I need B-roll, I'll go screen cap earlier footage and use that from previously published work. And there are some videos that I have where they're horribly overexposed, or my delivery is just completely awful, or there's something terrible in the background that I can't stand. I mean, trust me, I have no shortage of cringe on this channel, Brian. Or, Dan, sorry. Relaxation, the game. Indeed. Uncle Strange, what's up, buddy? Another bird, the plot thickens. I know, right? But I lost it. I'm gonna keep flying low, though. I want to see what else there is to interact with. I keep getting caught up in the splendor of it and just going high into the clouds, or trying to. I mean, the music is calming. Yes, it's calming, other than when I bump into stuff. When I bump into stuff, it's not great. Uncle Strange, what have you been playing, man? And how are things over on Twitch land? I don't visit you enough on your planet. Which sucks, because I miss my Canadian Barry White, if I'm being quite frank. So yeah, as best I can tell, there is no true objective here. I think there's just the simple joy of discovery, which is a very different kind of joy, and not the one that people typically associate with video games. And that's fine. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not. It's just different. But is this game type going to be for everybody? Absolutely not. Even now, again, I still feel compelled to find something. Although now, I think... perhaps this, like, the subtle joy of discovery in this game is the thing, is the meat of the experience here. It's not just flying high above everything and then admiring the geometry from afar, but rather getting down to the nooks and crannies of what it has to offer, like when we found that crazy cave earlier. And I bet there's a lot more like that, and I bet I'm only scratching the surface. So let's see if we can get a little more granular with this. You know what? I don't know if it does. Let's see. Community? Okay, so there's their Discord. This is the Discord for Samurai Punk. And they have merch available, apparently. Oh, so the tutorial will just put that on screen again, so not really a tutorial, I guess. I don't think this has multiplayer, but it seems like a game that will be, like, ripe for one, right? Because wasn't there a VR game from Ubisoft where you flew around as well that did have multiplayer, but in a VR environment? I feel like they could have done that with this. But then again, maybe it needs more environment, but again, we're still early. Playing A Plague Tale: Innocence, it's amazing. I think I've only heard about that from you, Uncle Strange. YourPlayerTwo seems like this game could use... Wait, I missed that. ASM artist? I think that would be fair to say. You are missed in the madhouse, sir. I will try to return. Just like I never get on Twitch. I think, you know what? Here, I won't do it right now, but before the night is over, I will make sure my Twitch notifications are re-enabled specifically for you so I don't miss it. Zach, what's up, man? Thank you for coming by. Watching Fabian's live stream on my phone and watching yours on my laptop. Nice. I dual stream sometimes. I feel dirty about it, but you know, it's like, and that's one of the things that I wanted to put in that video that I was thinking about making was about some of the harsh realities of being a gaming YouTuber, and one of them was, it may still be in there, I don't remember honestly, but trying to keep up with everybody becomes so difficult, and it sucks, man, because this is a great community. I mean, sure, it's got its bad apples like any other community online, I guess, or in real life for that matter, but ultimately, joining the YouTube gaming community the way that I did and focusing this channel, niching it down last year, was one of the most positive, and continues to be, one of the most positive experiences of my life, and, you know, I regret that exactly not at all. I'm not playing it right now, dude. Plague is so good, so you played it as well, Roman did. Ghost Strange is just currently. Mara wants Plague Tale as well. How are things in the madhouse, man? Streams going good over there, Strange? Oh, I forgot I could tweet. Wait a minute. If I can tweet, what if I tweeted at some of those gold things that we saw earlier that you saw on the ground? I'm not really sure what tweeting does. I'm trying to stream more. I did stop in on your Lego Star Wars stream briefly the other night. Carp, are you going to be doing more Lego stuff, or are there other games that you had on the docket? I'm thinking of doing some reading jobs. I just don't know if I'm going to record it or stream it. Of reading? Wait, what do you mean? Apparently Jaken only thinks I play farming games. How rude. I mean, you do like farming games. He's not wrong. But I know that's not all you play. You're playing Monster Hunter World. That's like the polar opposite of a farming game. Unless you're farming for mats, am I right? You definitely cultivated a great community. I tried to, man. I mean, it's... Yeah, I don't know how you cultivate it necessarily, but I've been fortunate enough that I think the right people have shown up on a regular basis, and I definitely appreciate that. I'm worried about how it scales, because if the channel grows and, you know, if there were 100 people in here, or 1,000 people maybe someday, how will I keep track of the people that have been here, like, since the beginning? I'm not sure yet, but, you know, that's a challenge I'm happy to tackle, and I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But for now, we are flying birds. I did get my PS2 emulator to finally work. Just found a Lily file, the preset key bindings that I'm not familiar with. Things are great, man. Glad to hear it's Strange. So you don't only play farming games. I'll let Mara take that one. Try to be their RPG bride, please. Reading of you're gonna read novels? Are you serious? Can I listen to this? Because I would totally be down for that. Unless you just started a fictional podcast or something like Night Vale. My life is 100% better because of YourPlayerTwo. That's a really bold statement, Taylor, but make no mistake, you have absolutely enriched my life too, buddy. Not the least of which, because you helped make the first streams possible, which I will always appreciate. You and Die Hard Gamer Bros. Possibly more Lego games? That's cool, man. The one Lego game that I really want to play that I really haven't yet is Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. But the sad thing is, if I don't get on it soon, that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is going to come out, and I am going to completely forget about Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. I know it. I know I will. Hey, okay. There it is again. He went into the water, though. Alright, I'm chasing this bird down. I'm going to try to. Let's see if I can maneuver enough. He's going fast, though. Oh, I lit one of those braziers. I wonder if I can tweet at the bird if I can catch him. Did it do anything? I don't think so. I don't have that many games with PS4, but I do what I can. Any personal favor you care to tell us about, Kurt? YourPlayerTwo, I just want to ask you your approach to tackling difficult subjects because your views are always nuanced, and I really appreciate the different perspectives you bring. Can you give me an example of a difficult subject, and I'll see if I can... Like, what do you mean? You mean like getting put on the spot in a live stream? Like if somebody says, like brings up a touchy subject? Quicksand says, my son loves the Lego Super Marvel games on the Switch. I only have 2. Did they release 1 on the Switch? As like a digital-only title or something? I might have missed that. Oh no! Yep. That was not my finest moment in my short-lived bird life. Slow down going through these tight corners. I made them... Wait, can I go in there? I can't go in here. See, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. I can't tell if it's the same one that I was in earlier, but... It looks similar, but... Like, okay, that can't be coincidence. There has to be something that happens if you light all those. So I'm going to see if I can turn around and get the other ones that were back there. This is a really tight turnaround, though. The number of games doesn't matter, Robert. As long as you're passionate about it, we'll be good to go. Excellent advice for Avidan. Not sure, but he has every Lego game for the Switch. That's awesome. This will make for great B-roll. What'll make for great B-roll? This? No, not on the spot. For example, on the Chillcast with EA laying people off. Oh, I think I see what you're saying. It was a great, and I agree with your position. I think Avidan even said thank you for party. Right, I do remember that. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but what you're referring to was on a Chillcast. This was a couple months back when everybody was up in arms about EA doing its layoffs, and you know, which layoffs suck. Like on a micro level, of course, I'm gonna agree that. You know, anybody who lost their job in that, I feel bad for them. But I also feel like in situations like that, certain facts had gone overreported while others went underreported. For example, overreported, them laying off, I want to say it was, what, 5,000 people or something crazy like that? I think. But then, well, one of the things that you didn't read a lot about was the fact that they did help those people find new jobs. And they also provided them pretty generous severance packages for a number of months to help them get back on their feet. So in terms of how do I tackle difficult subjects like that, my thing is I try to look at it based on as many facts as I can uncover. I try to keep my opinion out of it for the most part, because, you know, in a situation like that, I could have said, like, yeah, EA is the devil, how dare they lay off those people, but I don't know if, you know, again, in that situation, long term, if laying off 5,000 people saves the jobs of 20,000 people, you know, it's a philosophical question. I'm not sure I would be able to make that call, but then again, I'm not a CEO. I don't have to live with that decision. But I have to imagine that the people who, you know, it's like, what's that term? Like an armchair quarterback, whatever. I don't sports, so sorry. But, you know, I think it's very easy to get very emotional and think about how that would affect you, or, you know, kind of empathize with the people who are in that position. But, you know, in terms of how I actually tackle topics like those when they come up, I just try to be very honest. And what I mean by that, that's kind of a cop-out answer. But the best way I can explain it would be if I know facts and I can speak to them intelligently, I do. And if I can't, or if I feel like I don't have enough information, I shut up. Which is not really my forte. But in those instances, you know, there's a time to speak, and if I can't do so intelligently, it's the same thing I do on my videos too. You'll notice, like, if I end stuff, you know, because I realize some people look at some of my videos and they want something that's more comprehensive, or I'll realize that I'll forget some things in the course of a video, especially if it's about a product. So I always try to add a caveat there, like, hey, call me out on it. If there's something you think I should have done better, let me know in the comments. And just because I may not be able to make a full other produced video to fix the problem, I can hit you up on Twitter, or I can respond to you in the comments, or I can do a quick video test on another platform if I need to. Taylor says the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. You're right, and that's kind of the kind of situation I think it was. Strange says, or the one, also a good point. I think that's part of why I really like the Chillcast. Everyone is cool, and not all ideas are homogenous, which allows for a healthy discussion. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of group podcasts tend to get very. Oh, hey, there's another portal I can go in. Let's see what that does. I think a lot of group discussions tend to, like you said, homogenize in a way where everybody just sort of agrees with each other. And you can disagree with somebody without being a total jerk about it. Like I love all the guys on the Chillcast. They're a great group of people. But just because if we disagree on a point, like if me and Chips don't share the same view on something, doesn't mean that we can't be friends or can't have a civil discussion about it. But that's the thing. In a lot of panel discussions or group things like that, really the goal is to keep people entertained or engaged. And one of the quickest ways to do that is to get angry and create drama. And that's not really my forte. I don't mind admiring drama from a distance. I don't mind getting drama from my Game of Thrones, for example. But in terms of getting right in the thick of it, or taking sides or throwing stones, all that stuff, not my MO. Not my personal MO, and will never be the MO of this channel. Oh, is someone... Wait, who's... Has to put on hold, find out Monday when I'm having surgery. Yeah, I hope your surgery goes alright, Carb. I totally missed that. I just saw Romy Dan's response. But I hope it goes well and wish you a swift recovery. And that's the thing, like, there are channels out there, and the only thing they really devote themselves to is drama. And I know that some people find that extremely entertaining, and for me to say that there's not a market for it would be completely absurd. But ultimately, my problem with that is sustainability. If I were to do that, for example, let's say that tomorrow I upended YourPlayerTwo, and I was like, you know what, the only thing I'm going to do is talk about drama and, like, who's doing what, where, and gossip and that kind of thing. Like, I may build a following of people, but, the other part of that is that stuff doesn't age well. And you guys know I'm big on evergreen content. Like, if I make a video that's really useful about a particular product, and that product has some longevity, it stands to reason the video also has some longevity. And I'm big on thinking strategically. Like, I don't bring in massive numbers right now, the PlayStation Classic video notwithstanding, but ultimately I think that what I do is make just tiny investments in my content. And what I mean by that is, I made the Beat Saber tips video and how Beat Saber affected my life positively beyond weight loss. Still playing that every morning about 6 a.m. I'm about 6 months in now, almost, to closing all my rings every day, so I'm very proud of that. But ultimately those videos were evergreen. And it's weird because at the time they got like 60, 70 views, not a ton, but now they're starting to slowly build momentum over time as more and more people who like Beat Saber find them. They continue to bring in traffic for me day after day, and in turn, more subscribers, more revenue, and whatnot. So I'm playing the long game, long story short. Kane Deathbreaker's here. What's up, man? Yes, I watched Game of Thrones, Uncle Strange. I am completely caught up, but I don't want to do any spoiler discussion here if we can help it. Oh, no. Alright. Let's adjust course a little bit. Gotta go, all gotta be up early. Carp, thank you so much for taking the time out of your night to come by, man. I hope your surgery goes alright, and I hope you do stream more, man. I'd love to swing by and hang out some more. Especially if you do more LEGO stuff, because I know I'm not going to get to it, so I'll have to live vicariously through you. But yeah, man, I hope the surgery goes well and everything, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully you can get some downtime and relax a little bit before you have to deal with all that. Brian says, I find that the creation of your channel has also had some positive byproducts, such as the great people you've gotten to know. Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's funny because, you know, from the outside looking in, particularly from people who aren't YouTubers or people who look at what I do and they're like, this dude's a weirdo. Like, why would you be so into video games in, you know, in your 30s or whatever? Which, you know, if you think I'm weirdo, you should meet my dad. Cat's in his 50s now, still an avid gamer, and, you know, as one of my heroes, I aspire to do exactly the same thing as I continue to age, hopefully gracefully. But especially to outsiders looking in, they can think it's really odd, and I've actually had close friends of mine say, we're worried that you spend too much time on YouTube or with games or whatever, which is weird for a couple of reasons. One is, I still very much like go out and hang out with friends, go see movies, concerts, and travel and do that kind of stuff. But secondarily, it really undercuts what YouTube is. And the thing that I think most people miss is it's not simply a media delivery system. It's not just a place you go to get free entertainment, although many people use it for that, and that's fine. It's also a social media network. And a lot of people forget that, it is a very social place. Places like this, chatting in live streams and whatnot, or just getting involved in, comment discussions with other creators on the things that you're very passionate about. It's a very real connection. Sure, it's digital, and it's not in person, so it doesn't meet, I think, the traditional standard of what a lot of people would consider to be normal, but where's the fun in being normal? I want to age like a skunk beer instead of a fine wine. That's a philosophy I can get behind, Kane. You see Persona? You don't see Persona anywhere. What are you talking about? Why are you making that crazy face in the chat? I was surprised. That's why. Zach says, I was also surprised you listened to the Persona 4 soundtrack as well. Not many people I know ever really heard of or touched the Persona series. I hadn't. I played Persona 3 on the PSP, and I probably got 15, 20 hours into that game. Lost my memory stick on it, got disgruntled and angry, and swore off the Persona series. And then I can't remember if it may have been Kawaii Lola who got me turned on to 4. So I got a Vita, and I picked up Persona 4 Golden, and that was one of the most fulfilling gaming experiences I've ever had. And I'm so glad it would have been about this time last year that I beat that game all the way and got the good ending on it. And I gotta say, every now and then when I'm looking at games that I'm gonna play next, my gaze tends to drift back over in the direction of Persona 4 Golden just so I can see what those characters are up to again. I think I can play through. And I also immediately went out and got I think both Persona 4 animes on iTunes so I can start rewatching. Because one of them actually fills in bits of the story that are more obscure, I think, or does something new. And then the other one is basically like a straight retelling of the story you see in Persona 4. Why is the shock so ugly? Dual shock? Is that what you're talking about? The people I've met here and on Twitch have become my best friends. Hard to argue with, man. I mean, it's like, of course I have, for real life best friends that I hang out, not to diminish you guys, say like you're not real, you're not NPCs or something. But like Jason, my roommate, my best friend, the guy who I was best man at his wedding, like, yes, he is a friend, but to say somehow that the friends I've made here are less valuable on account of the fact that 90% of our repartee is done through a screen or through a Discord channel or, in text, I think that's completely laughable. Ridiculous. YourPlayerTwo, I was really hoping for that P5 on Switch, which still might come, but who knows, dude, so was I. As soon as I saw it was like a Muso-style game, I was just like, ugh, like, this is not what I wanted. Who asked for this? We have enough of those type of games. There's Fire Emblem Warriors, there's Hyrule Warriors. I think there's just another regular Warriors game that's coming out on Switch. I don't want that. I want Persona 5 so that I can finish it. Oh, the shock face emote, sorry. I was like, what are you talking about, Maro? I think it looks cooler in the chat, though, than it did on the way my screen displayed it through Streamlabs. Thank you, Brian. I really enjoy this soundtrack. I can't say that I blame you, man. It's very relaxing. It kind of reminds me of Breath of the Wild, if I'm being honest. Just a lot of soft melodies that are very piano-based. Zach says I have Persona 4 Golden on the Vita and already beat Persona 5. I'm assuming it was a great experience. I almost finished P4, but since Marie's social link wasn't rank 10, I missed her dungeon and it sucked. I had almost 100 hours into it. I don't think I maxed out Marie's social rank, and I think I still got the good ending. Unless there's another ending, which is entirely possible. But whenever I got to the part where you have to make all those, well, I won't spoil anything, but those very specific decisions in an area near the end of the game in some dialogue trees, I consulted Beck. I was like, I don't want to screw this up. Tell me what to say. And she was a very helpful resource in guiding me. I could not have done it without her. Mar says, I'm like eating, so couldn't react fast enough. Oh, you're fine. Are you eating tacos, I hope, Maro? The true ending is locked behind Marie's dungeon. Then maybe I did do it. Because I'm pretty sure based on... Because after I finished, I looked up the ending to make sure, and I'm pretty sure that's what I got. Taylor, if you've never played Persona, there's nothing wrong with that, but as I understand it, and someone who is more of a fan of that series can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong here, but it would be better to start with 3 or 4 or 5 than to try to go to the original 1 or 2, right? I would like to dabble with them someday, but as I understand it, they have not aged nearly as well as 3, 4, and 5. And weren't there a lot of quality of life improvements in 4 as well? Thank you. Nope, not talks, but I did post my food on Twitter. I will go check it out. Did I hear you say that you enjoy traveling? If so, what places have you visited? In 2017, Brian, I went to Iceland. More recently, I've gone to just stateside. I went to Denver a few years ago. I went to Seattle a few years back. Well, it was my first time out there. I'm going to LA in a month or two, or about a month. No, like 3 weeks. Oh wow, I should really get more prepared for that. Aside from just getting a camera. I mean, I've done cruises before. I'm going to Germany, but that's really for a work trip. But work was like, you know, they only want you there for 2 days. I'm like, I'm going to Germany. I don't just want to chill there for 2 days. Like, you know, I'll take a week or week and a half in PTO. I was like, if you guys will keep me up in a hotel as a nice bonus thank you. They're like, yeah, that's fine. So I'll be going to Germany. But yeah, I enjoy travel. I don't do it constantly, but those would be the biggest places I've been. Iceland was a lot of fun. Funny story. I got a tattoo in Iceland. Actually, it's this one right here, which is a glacier, if you can see that. There you go. On the inside of my left forearm there. And the guy who did it was this delightful dude named Axel. And when he was doing the tattoo, I was thinking to myself, like, man, if he screws this up, I'm gonna be in trouble because I can't just pop back over to Iceland to get touch-ups, right? Which is something you can commonly do with artists if you have like lines that don't thicken up enough, or if the color comes out wonky or something. You usually go back for free touch-ups. And then in the middle of doing my tattoo, he's like, yeah, it's like my girlfriend lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm moving there in a few months, which is like an hour from Columbus. I was like, that is crazy. I was like, I live in Columbus, Ohio, so I can still go get touch-ups from the same artist if I wanted to. You can start with P5 as far as I know, because all the stories are mostly disconnected. I'll say mostly. I don't want to spoil anything, but I will say that you could safely do 3, 4, or 5, though you may appreciate 4 slightly more if you play 3 most. I don't know if there's any reference to 4 and 5, but they are self-contained enough that I'm sure you could start with any one of them. Zach says, I have 208 hours playtime in Persona 5. Most of his hours were dungeon grinding and Taylor. Yes. It is rad. So, are there any countries you would like to visit? I would like to go to Ireland someday, because with a last name like Irish, I feel like kind of got to do it. I just don't want to get beat up in a bar when they're like, can I see your ID if I get carded or something? Although I don't look that young anymore, I don't think. So maybe that would never happen. When I was younger, I was like, I don't want to get carded in Ireland and be like, Irish, you some kind of funny guy, and I get beat up by some drunken Irish guy. The Persona series has the same themes throughout, but they do not directly correlate with each other. Ooh, are we sure? Because I thought there was at least one part in 4 when there's a field trip of sorts. If you remember what I'm talking about. Oh, or did you play 4, Zach? Alright, guys, I'm going to fly into this, then I'm going to have to call it because I have to go get ready for the chill stream. And I just hit a button on the Elgato, so right now my name on Twitter should have had the live symbol next to it. Now if I refresh... Yes, now my name is back to YourPlayerTwo, so this is completely delightful. But, alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here right now and let the bird fly around solo and probably bang into a few things. But if you would like to come over to the chill stream later, that's going to be over on Avidan's channel. So if you guys want to go check that out, those are the topics we'll be talking about tonight. We'll be talking about the Microsoft-Sony team-up, and we'll also be discussing the future of gaming, kind of what the console landscape might look 10 to 20 years from now, and our different opinions on those subjects. And then finally, of course, the Mario Maker 2 Direct, which everyone's very excited about. I'm actually really excited for it, mainly for stream purposes. But yeah, those are the things we'll be talking about tonight. I think we're going to have, I think Smash JT is going to be on there tonight. Rob Regal, NX Revolution should be on there. Chips may be on, I'm not sure. Avidan, and then myself, and I might be forgetting somebody. If so, anybody from the Chillcast is watching, I'm sorry. Feel free to chime in. Take care, everyone in chat. Looking forward to seeing you all lovely people on the next stream. Absolutely. Brian, Maiko, Zachary, everybody else who's still here. I'm trying to look at the participants window so I can get a better look, but, you know, Taylor. Maiko's here. I didn't even see Maiko come in. How long's Maiko been lurking in here? Oh, no. No, Maiko. I hope you'll hang out with us later on stream. We're doing Monster Hunter World, buddy. But, yeah, if there's somebody else you should subscribe to in here, again, I'm going to say this every time Maiko shows up, because Maiko's a national treasure. That would be Maiko's channel. Give me 1 second here. I must put that in the chat immediately. Because you are doing yourself a disservice if you don't like the kind of very specific joy that Maiko provides on a regular basis, which is just, again, a complete delight. But, alright, I totally have to go now because I have to go get ready for the Chillcast. But, again, if you guys want to come out to Avidan's channel at 10:30 to hear us talk about basically video game news stuff, which is what we do every Friday at 10:30, other commitments notwithstanding, but usually every Friday, this would be the place to do it, and that is youtube.com/AvidanSmith/live. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys there later on, but if not, no worries. You all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Daniel, Maiko, Maro, Cynthia's not in here. Beck may watch later, maybe, but I will see you guys for Monster Hunter World at midnight. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to hide behind Daniel, or hide behind the nearest rock, and cry. So, alright, that's enough. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in a little bit. Alright, bye.